Hello everyone, this is Taryn with Wonderfully Made Handcrafting, and I am so excited to do this unboxing for you today for the new Famous Last Words kit from By the Well for God. Now this kit sounds like an amazing devotional. It is written by Judy Allen, and she talks about these doorknob conversations, these last conversations from people who are on their deathbed, and they give these last important remarks that they want the listener to hear. These are what we call doorknob conversations. Like as you're walking out the door, you usually turn around and say the most important thing to someone. And so here we are going to learn through the Bible about these famous last words and these doorknob conversations. So that is number one. This is what I love about By the Well for God. They have really solid teaching. Judy writes excellent devotionals. And so this is going to be a 14-day study like usual. You can read on one day and do your journaling the next. But what I usually do is I actually spend a little bit of time one night and read the whole thing through first. And then I go through it again a second time, day by day, and kind of start the ones I definitely want to journal in. But that's the way I work through these devotionals. But this is the devotional for this month, and you can see a couple of the people we're talking about. Joshua, then we have Agrippa, the thieves at the cross, Goliath even, what we can learn from him, Paul, Jacob, Judas, Samuel, Agag, Thomas, and John. And so I cannot wait to work through this study itself. I usually do this first before I do any of my journaling. Just read through the whole thing once and highlight everything, and especially the Bible passages so I can read them. And yeah, that's how I work through this. So that's the most important part of the By the Well for God kits. But as I go through this, I wanted to start actually with the little goodie bag. So By the Well for God always gives a little goodie bag to everyone who orders. And the stamp is a little extra for those that spend over $37.50, I believe. So this month is a cute little Amen stamp. You could cut these out there in like the letterpress font. So that is a cute little extra. Now, you may not always get this stamp. If you order this kit, say in a month, you might not get this exact stamp because they might already be sold out or given out of all their stock. So you might be getting something else, but this is just a bonus. So just remember that, guys. By the Well for God is awesome in that way. Then we have two little tabbies. These are so fun. I love this little polka dot brown one. And then we have these doorknob conversations. Now this is also part of the kit stamp, and it is so gorgeous. I love the little things you can tick off and everything. So you have a number of those to journal with. So you could either use this side if you wanted to make that into a layering piece, or if you knew you weren't going to use it, you could stamp on it and use these back sides. These are great little more plain pieces of paper, so you can always use that as well. As well, with the goodie bag, you get this little label sticker. This goodie bag is full of greatness. I just love this one. And you can see it is has little letters in the background. It's like distressed and vintage, very cool. And the last thing you get in your goodie bag is a little thank you note signed by Lori, and talks about this kit and how you can follow other people who are going through this kit. So this one is, the tag for Instagram is By the Well for God, BTW4G_ famous last words. And then you also get a little sneak peek of next month's kit. Now guys, this month is amazing. I love this kit this month, and then I come to this kit and I'm like, man, how does By the Well for God always do this? They are always doing such amazing work, and so I'm really excited for this one as well. And so this will be releasing late August. Come, O children, listen to me. I will teach you the fear of the Lord. And it's just talking about the fear of the Lord this month. Join us as we explore what it means to hold a reverent fear, a fear that acknowledges the power, majesty, and strength of God, but also understands his gentle grace and pursuit and love for us, that he would sacrifice his son for us. So, what a great devotional to come to next month. So, that is August, and that is all of the little goodie kit. So, I'm going to put that to the side. And then I'm going to go over what actually comes in the physical kit itself, and then we'll go to all the extra little goodies. So like I said, you have this devotional right here, Famous Last Words, written by Judy Allen. And then you have this little tag, Famous Last Words, with little 2 tabbies, 1 Corinthians 15:58 on the back of that. And then you have the kit sticker, Famous Last Words, with these letterpress designs. And then you have your 3 little cards. I guess I was going to say memory decks cards, but they are great for memory decks use, but you can also use them as layering pieces, as I do, or just a way to remember your verse. Write down a verse that you're trying to memorize and put that somewhere where you're always going to see that. These are great little additions. I love these. So this one says Grace to Change. And this one has a little typewriter. I love this. And this one says Trust God. And then you have the little quill pens. And this one says Thank God Constantly. So there are your little cards that come with kit. We also started getting these numerals a couple months ago. We by the will for God, got rid of the little extra pin. So now we only get 1 pin, but we get a numeral sticker instead with that. And that matches the alphabet. And these are the florals that are same design as this, but just shrunken down some. So those are the numerals and the alphas for that. Those come with the kit. Those are both opaque, so you can't see through them, but we do, by the will for God, does offer the clear ones as well. These are clear stickers though, and they have a couple of different words that you can journal with. Also, we have these typewriters. Now these are really fun because they have a different color in them, so it's kind of hard to see probably, but you have like a red typewriter, green, blue, orange, another kind of teal, and then maybe another kind of like vermilion, I don't know, kind of a red. So really fun. I like how they use like something that was vintage but kind of added a pop of color and made it different. And then you also have these washi strips. Obviously these are not exactly like washi, you cannot tear them, but you can take a sharp pair of scissors like this and just kind of finagle your scissors back and forth to create a ripped edge look. We also have the kit stamp. Now I've already started using mine because I wanted to show you some different things that you can use with them, which I will show you at the end of this unboxing, so don't miss out on that. But this is the kit sticker. They come in these nice little sleeves now, so super nice, nicely sealed sleeve. Some of these sleeves from other companies aren't as well made, but these are super nice. And it gives you a couple of ideas on the back side of how to use these stamps. You're also getting your Daniel Smith watercolors. These are fabulous watercolors, and I love these colors this month. So you have kind of like almost some deep colors, but that work really well with that vintage look. Last thing that comes in the kit is the Ephemera Pack. And so I put this in a little bowl so that you wouldn't hear too much of packaging opening this kit. My husband told me the other day that really, like that sound of packaging opening on YouTube videos is like fingers on a chalkboard to them. So I decided I was gonna try to unpackage most things beforehand. I'm not sure if that happens with any of you, but it really kind of irks him. He can't stand that sound. So that's why I undid most things today. But they did provide in the Ephemera Pack a little piece of hemp rope. So that will be fun as a texture. And then we have a couple of different tags. Let me make some space here. So we have that tag, and you can make your own holes in these ones because they didn't want to put a hole in case someone just wanted to use it as a layering piece. Like this would be a really cool layering piece. Double-sided tags, by the way, as well. Then you have this famous last words, and then you have a lot of florals. Look at these. These are so gorgeous, guys. I just love them. Look. So you have a ton of florals, and you can also print these over again because they'll send you the images, or you can get them through your account on By the Love for God. I love how they made a long one like this. You could put it like poking out of something, like a layering piece. So fun. I love these florals this month. Then you have a little pen and ink. This is a really cool layering piece as well, this typewriter. And then you have another tag with the floral in the background. That's the back side. That's so cool. And then some more tags. This is my favorite tag. Oops. This little typewriter, kind of brownish burgundy. And then you'll see this is part of a stamp, the Book Nook stamp. You can see that in the background. This one. And here's the last one. So those are all the little pieces of ephemera that come with this month's kit. Let me try to get them all together to put in the little dish. And then we will move on. Okay. So next thing I'm going to talk about is something that doesn't go along with this kit, but so many people asked for Christina to have a little stamp of numbers. So these match up with last month's Christina's swirly alpha. So that is a little extra that they had in the shop this month. But this is something so cool, guys. Let me get them all in my hand first. Like I said, I undid all the packaging beforehand. So these are the word cards this month. So we have a colorful one, and then we also have like a vintage kind of old paper grungy. So I cannot wait to use this one. Each one has the back side as well, but it's empty, so you can write whatever you wanted on the back side. But these look like so cool with the papers. And then we have the colorful ones, which have a design on them this month as well. It's kind of like a loose floral design. And these are the colors that come in this month. Ooh, I like that green. So those are that. And then your little extra card is the letterpress on this one. Let's see what it is on this one. Oh, it's just like an empty paper one. That's kind of cool. So those are the word cards this month. You have the option of this vintage color, or you have the option of these colors. And this one has a little variation as well. So those are the two options for famous last words. This is the first time they've done two different colors for the word cards. So you'll have to let me know in the comments which word cards you chose. The next thing I have are the word study cards. So instead of journaling cards this month, you know how they had the grow cards last month? They did word study cards this month. And so this says, choose a word, define the word, explore Bible uses of the word. And then on the back it says summarize what you've learned and then apply the word. So you have this design. Each one is a little bit different. And then you have this design. And then this one, just a little bit different. See the differences right there? And then you have this one as well, different color and a couple different things on the outside. So those are the 4 options, or 4 cards styles that come in the word study card journaling cards this month. Then we have the labels. These are called Proclamation Labels this month. And the colors are a yellow, a blue, a brown, it almost looks like an olive brown, but it's not really. An orange, and then like a tattered rose pink. That's what I think of, because I think in distress oxide colors. So label colors this month. Sorry, the blue was hiding. So those are them. And then we have the tile alphas. Tile alphas kind of have similar colors. You have that tattered rose pink kind of, the orange, the kind of olive-ish, greenish brown. Then you have the blue and the yellow. These are so fun because they're almost like neutral colors in a color form. Then we have these clear alphas. Now this is what I was talking about before. So these are clear, so on the lighter colors you'll be able to see through if you were to put them over your Bible text. Some of the darker colors will not show the Bible text through. Like this is going to be too busy. Even though it's clear sticker paper, it's going to be hard to read anything through that. So you have this floral, a red, a tealish green, that pink, a blue, that yellow, and an olive green. The next thing I have to show you is the Proclamation paper pack. Now you can get this paper pack in either a 6x6 or a 6x8. This is obviously the 6x8 paper, and you get 24 double-sided papers in 3 of each design. Now this paper pack is amazing. I love the colors that they chose, and also that some are more busy and some are a little bit more toned down so that you can use them to stamp on or to die cut letters out of, and they won't look as busy. So let's go through this paper pack. The first paper we have is a letterpress design, and this is cool because you could cut out each individual letter and create words, or you can just use it by itself. So you have the letterpress on one side and three of each design, and then you have this cool graph paper on the back side. On this one you have butterflies in like a pinstripe design, and it looks kind of like vintage wallpaper to me. And then on the back side it's a more plain kind of textured pink. This is what I love. I love how we have some like this month. This paper is some old Bible pages. Now you could fussy cut these out and use them as layering pieces, which I think I will do for 1 or 2 pages. And then on the back side you have this Swiss dot, like a distressed Swiss dot. This is a floral design, and this reminds me of the stamp last year, Worthy. It kind of looks like the same lettering. I'm not sure exactly. I'm trying to see what verse it has in the background. But yeah, this reminds me of that stamp set, if you know which one I'm talking about. It was a background stamp set that came with the Worthy of the Gospel kit. And then you have this pretty pattern on the back side. You have this olive tone floral. It almost looks like metallic gold, but it's not, obviously. But that's the look it gives. And then you have this pretty neutral kind of Swiss dot. Very toned down, something I really like. Now this one is so cool. I love this. So you have some florals in here, but you also have these kind of words like melted in kind of. It's like, I don't know. It's just such a cool design, and probably you won't be able to see how cool it is unless you have it in front of you. But I love this one. I think this one will be great. This would be great to die cut out of as well. And then you have this lined paper on the back side, which is also a great staple. Of course, we have the florals. So these are the florals. I love these colors this month. So nice. And usually I'm not much of a red person, but I really like this red. And then you have this back side. It kind of reminds me of like tissue paper. Look. And then you have this plaid. I love plaid. And then you have this on the back side. So cool. I love these old papers. This has a little sewing machine here. It looks like a little stamp down here. So really cool papers this month. Next thing I'll show you is the journals that I chose this month. I did not take these out of the package because I just was going to show you like this. This is journal set 2. So you have the letterpress on one side and that cool teal paper on the other side. I believe, let me think. The other paper was a floral with something else. I forget what the other one was. Let's see. What's the other side of the floral? I don't know if it was this one, but it was definitely a floral on journal set 1. Okay guys, look at this. They went back to creating fabric bundles. And so this one they created with spoon flower. Let me undo it. They wrap it so nice. It's so sad to undo. But this is a spoon flower pattern. And they did it obviously with the floral pattern for this month, which I'm loving. And then they had multiple different fabric options to go as a second. Everyone got the floral one, but everyone got a different kind of, well, there was like 6 different colors to go as an addition. And so this is kind of like a neutral pink peach. And I don't know if you can see, but it has like metallic flecks in it. Also pink and yellow flecks, but it is just such a cool pattern. So those are my 2 fabrics that I got in my kit. Like I said, you might not get this specific one, but any fabric that you will get will be amazing. So those are the 2. Everyone will get this floral one. Just trying to put them back nice. So there's that. Before I jump into the stencil and stamps, because I have little ideas to show you, I wanted to show you this. Now, this is Verses for the Human Condition. Now, Lori was talking about how last month we were encouraged to memorize scripture. And so they thought they would make a little cards to help us memorize scripture, and in doing so kind of lead us in different ways that we might be struggling. So this is like the human condition, anger, and then it gives you Proverbs 15:1. A soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger. And so they have a couple of different ones for anger. Then they have discouragement. And look how beautiful these cards are, guys. Elizabeth designed these, I believe. Then you have fear. And forgiveness. I love this plaid. And look at this floral right here. Then we have hope. Oops. patience. It's one that many of us need, including me. Provision. And salvation. And suffering. And last one, I believe, maybe, trials. Oh, sorry, there's one more. Oh, look at this. So pretty. This is worry. So you can create these in whatever way you want. You could do a memory deck system, or this is what I did last time with mine. So I punched through them, and then I made a little tag ring with extra little fun little inserts in it. So you could create something like that, which is probably what I will end up doing. But I haven't nailed down for sure. But you do get those 2 rose gold tag rings with it. So now I'm going to talk about the stamps and the stencil. And I have a couple fun things to go along with this. So let me grab it. Okay guys, so these may look a little dirty because I've already started working with them. So I could give you a couple ideas. So I guess we're going to start with the stencil first. So this is a letterpress stencil. If you notice, it has every single alpha letter on here. So you could be very specific and kind of use a makeup brush and just get each letter and spell something out. But that's not necessarily the way I ran with this. So I'm going to show you a couple of different things that I did with it. So first off, I did a spray through it. Now, obviously, you could be a little bit more precise and not get the edges and kind of mask off some with some paper. Like if I were to take this paper and here and kind of make a jagged edge of the paper, rip it, so it wouldn't look so stark of a line. But this is what the spray looks like through it. Or you could always rip up a circle or something to use as a layering piece beneath it so you wouldn't get that line. But that's spray. What's cool, kind of, is if you spray like this and then you say this was down here and I sprayed it, you still have the spray on the top part. And so all I did was I flipped the stencil over and just kind of pressed it down. Now, if I had wetted it, it would have given a little bit more of movement, kind of. But this is what the back side, once you flip it over from spraying, it just gives a fun little texture. Kind of reminds me of, I don't know, maybe this sounds crazy, but kind of like a motherboard in a computer or something, like all the little dots. I don't know. Looks pretty cool. So this is just a distress spray and distress oxide spray. And then this is with the spray just pressed down afterward from the top. Then I did have a little bit of spray still on here, so I ended up putting the stencil back down and rubbing it around with a makeup brush, and I got this effect, which was really cool as well. You could do this both with just distress oxide ink, like if you smushed some down and then just use a makeup brush and went through that way as well. I just had extra spray ink on the side, so I decided to do that. So these are all kind of different ways that you could use it with sprays or inks or whatnot. This is a great way to use the stencil. But another thing I did was right here. This is texture paste right here. I love texture paste. I use it for everything. You can dye it with distress oxide. This is just plain white texture paste. But I also invested in some crackle texture paste. And I did color this a little bit with some Distress Oxide so you can see the crackly bits a little bit more. I love the look this gives. So I'll definitely be using that through some stencils for this kit. But these are just two different options of texture paste through a stencil. Now, I do have a lot of people ask me when I use texture paste if it ends up falling out of the Bible after a couple years. I've only been Bible journaling now for, let's see, 3.5 years, but I have not had any issue with texture paste cracking and falling out of my Bibles. So I guess I haven't had any issue. So there's that. I don't know what else to say. But even if it did crack and fall out, I don't know. I don't think it would fall out in crazy amounts, and I love it so much that, I don't know, it's kind of worth it to me. So that's texture paste for you. You can see here, like, it's very bendable and movable. So there's that. So those are all my ideas for the stencil. And then here we move on to the stamps. Now, this is a stamp vintage fabric. It might look a little scary to you, and I did, it's already dyed kind of with the ink, because I was trying some archival ink on this. But it is a wonderful stamp. You don't want to miss out on this one. I know it looks scary, but let me show you some stuff. So this is, what they imagined doing something with, like if you use different colors on the different kind of fabrics. And this is what I ended up doing. I wanted to show you what it looked like with a first generation stamping. So this looks a little dark and heavy, but I wanted to show you the different textures and fabrics in it. And then this is rolling the stamp. So all I did was with this one was I just undid the backer and stamped it like this. I didn't put it on a block. I didn't do anything like that. But with the rolling option, I just inked it all up and then I just rolled it around and got some texture on the page. And since this is such a texture heavy stamp, this made some awesome background. Now, obviously this wouldn't be my only background. I would add some Distress Oxides to it. I might add some texture paste. I might even add some texture paste through the letterpress stencil. So this isn't what it would all be. So it may look a little scary right now, but this would be a great start to a mixed media background. But what I like even more about this is, let me back up real quick. I did use a VersaFine ink. Now, this is a super detailed stamp. VersaFine ink is my go-to ink for almost everything. I did try an archival ink with it because I wanted to try some brown. That's what dyed my ink pad, even with the ink pad cleaner, or ink stays on cleaner. But I did try the archival ink. It wasn't giving me a good impression. I'm not sure what was going on. I'm not sure if it was my ink, but it just wasn't liking this stamp. So I might try to find a brown VersaFine ink because I think that would look really pretty as well. So also this is waterproof. So great when you use watercolors. So this is first generation stamping, regular and the rolling technique. But look at this, guys. Look how pretty this is. Hold on. This is second generation. I like it even better. But look at this. This is third generation. Look at how awesome this looks. I just love the look of this for a background. I did add a little bit of Distress Oxide of, I think it was Vintage Photo maybe, on the back side of this. But it looks like that wallpaper, like when you tear down wallpaper and find this fun vintage wallpaper in the background. That's what this reminds me of. It reminds me of the house I grew up in New Hampshire and the wallpaper we had going up the stairwell. That's what this reminds me of. So vintage fabric might look like a scary stamp, but don't let it scare you. It is an amazing background stamp, amazing mixed media, like starting stamp. And so don't pass this one up. Second stamp set I have to talk about is Speak Truth. Now this one has some Morse code, little telephone, little stamp. But what I used for this is, let me move this out of the way so it's not distracting. You can use these little Morse code stamps and line them up and create your own background. This would be a great simple background to create, but add some interest to the back side or the back of your page. I also gold embossed this, so I did stamp it with black VersaFine ink, and then I used the gold embossing powder and laid that down on it. You do not see any of the black ink when you use that way. So I did that, and then I used this Distress mica spray and dipped a paintbrush in it and got some kind of gold, it's hard to see, but there's a little bit of gold shimmer in it. And then I used Neo Color 2s to color it and shade it in. Now I could have done this better. I got a little bit of outside the lines because I was going too fast, but this would be a great little addition. You can make your own little ephemera and cut it out. The other thing I did for this idea is took this little date stamp, I stamped it down, and then I ended up taking my own date stamp and stamping it so it looked like I was stamping that date with that roller date stamp. So that's another idea for this stamp set. Next stamp set I have is Book Nook. So this one has two little book piles. This is a book pile with like a little, I don't know, a tea mug. And then it also has these little arch cutouts with a candle. You see a little BTW by the well. Some books in here, a little world globe, a little plant, maybe some letters. So this is what I did with this one. I did color it in with Neo Color 2s, like the other one. You could do this in so many different colors. I just kept with the 4 colors I had sitting at my desk. And then for this one, I just drew a little bit of shading in the background so you could tell that that was like in the back in the arch. So that was for Book Nook. You could also, I was thinking, you could send this through your typewriter and write like different book names on the spine of these books. That would be so cool. Or you could write it in yourself. Next one I have is Last Will and Testament. This one, it was really surprising. I saw this kind of like tucked behind with the stamp sets, and I don't know, I was excited about it, but it wasn't my favorite. But after gold embossing this, wow, guys, look at this. I love this. This is so fun. And then I did send it through my typewriter. Just wrote Last Will and Testament. Also, I sent this through my typewriter so you could see what it would look like. Now, for this little ink, I did kind of color it in with some Neo Color 2s, added some shading, and then I did add some glossy accents to make it look like it was a glass little jar of ink. So there's that. I also showed you with these two, this has a very much so distressed look to the Last Will and Testament. On this one, all I did differently was I just took my ink pad, if this was open, and I inked up the edges. So I didn't get all of this in here. So when I typed on my typewriter, you could still read it. That's what I do for this spiritual prescription stamp set as well. Since there's a lot of nice little grunge, I do a little bit less. I did add a little bit more, as you can see in the middle. I just kind of like dotted a few places so it wouldn't look so sparse with it just being on the edge. So that is Last Will and Testament. A couple ideas for that stamp set. And the last paper I have is for Take Note and the kit stamp. So Take Note, look at this, guys. I love this typewriter. So it reminds me of the His Story typewriter a little bit, but I love this one even more. It is nice and big. Also comes with these little typewriter alphas, which looks very similar to the typewriter alpha that they have. I don't know if they have it in the shop right now, but I had the lowercase typewriter alpha, and I did a page a couple months ago with it because we had that typewriter stencil, which you could also take out for this kit. If you have that typewriter stencil, take it out. And then I layered it up with some of these little alphas that were the typewriter alpha they have in stock, but I did the same kind of thing. So you could cut these out yourself and kind of make a title, but right here all I did was shaded it in with, you guessed it, a Neocolor 2 because it's on my desk, and then I did add a little bit of glossy accents to each one of these letters. I only did those top 6 letters. But you can see, I don't know, they're so cool. I will link my video of my other typewriter page that I did before. You can definitely grab some inspiration from that page and bring it on over to this kit. And I did send this through my typewriter, added a little hello to it, and this is used with the clear embossing powder. I didn't color it in all the way, but I would definitely color it in if I was doing an actual page. But I stamped it with the VersaFine ink again, and then just used the clear embossing powder over it to get this kind of glossy finish. Now, this does help. The embossing helps keep the color inside of where it's supposed to be. So this would be very easy to color in with some watercolors or some Distress Oxides if you painted them like watercolor, or some Neocolor 2s. I just really like the look of the clear embossing powder with VersaFine ink. So that is Take Note. The last the last stamp set I showed was the kit stamp, Famous Last Words. This kit stamp is awesome. It's very versatile. You have that doorknob conversations stamp again, like the little goodie bag. And so I stamped it out to show you what you could do. I just love how you can check off stuff. So I did mine to my husband, Stephen, urgent. And then from your wife, you can just write whatever. This would be cute to just write notes back and forth to pray for one another. But I'm sure I'm going to be using this a lot in my Bible journaling this month. And I just wrote, let's memorize Ephesians chapter 2 together, because that's what we've been trying to do together. And this is the floral. I did end up using the Daniel Smith watercolors to kind of paint this in. I did it very fast. You can definitely tell it was very like loose watercoloring, but it still looks great. I love how watercoloring florals, you can just do that. And I also really loved this little important stamp, so I decided to test that out as well. So guys, I think that is everything that I had planned to show you. This is just an amazing kit. If you haven't picked it up yet, I highly, highly suggest that you do. It is, I believe, still available for pre-sale. Last I checked, I'm trying to post this on YouTube hopefully tonight. It'll probably be very late or early in the morning, but it is still on pre-sale as far as I know right now. So if you've liked this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. I will put the link down below for you to check out that typewriter video, and also if you would like to buy this kit, I will put my affiliate link down below as well. I hope you have a wonderful day, guys. God bless. Bye.